Welcome to another episode of Talkin Tone. I'll be your host, Dave Pops Clements. With me today is an audio engineer extraordinaire. Longtime friend of mine. We're very happy to have him here. He's mixed with such bands as David Bowie, Bon Jovi, Christina Aguilera, and currently with on tour, Cher. However, he's mixed for many, many bands.
Welcome. Hi there.
How you doing, Tony?
Very good, sir. This is Pop's Garage, literally.
I got to ask you a question. What was it like working with Bowie?
It was amazing. It was 30 years ago this week, ironically. Well, this year.
I saw the picture.
Yeah. And I'm not a dressing room engineer. I don't mix in the dressing room. I made friends over the years, but as you and I have toured together, we're both quite private. Days off we keep to ourselves. Mm-hmm. And that's how I've survived all this time, because I'm comfortable with my own company.
Right.
And I work for David. I've been doing that Sting tour you found, and his management company comes in the show. And I got home, and I got a phone call from Michael at home. He said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" I said, "Well, not much." He said, "Well, there's an artist in town, needs to meet someone at 11 o'clock, and the guy's bailed out. We need to put someone in the slot." So I went, "Okay." So he tells me who it is, and I tell my wife, and a lot of excitement. We've just been married. And she says, "You can't go down as you normally dress," which is
as wives with
t-shirt, jeans,
Sure.
So we come to a compromise: white shirt, jeans, and the only sports jacket I own was the one I got married in.
You wore a sport jacket,
and like a really nice Armani jacket
to go down and talk to Bowie.
Well, she said, "You got to wear something that you can't go in your baseball jacket," which is what I wore at the time. So I took this jacket that the only other time I'd worn, I got married in, and I carried it on the subway, and I go down to a record plant, and I'm walking along the block, and I stop outside the shop window and put it on, and I'm checking in the glass, the jacket and the collar, as this guy walks past, a leather jacket, a baseball cap and sunglasses.
Oh, no.
So I'm checking it. I nervously walk up the building, and he's stopped by the door, and it's a push button to get in. And he says, "Are you coming in here?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to the 5th floor, which is where's you?" He said, "Oh, so am I. I'll let you in." So he lets me in. We get in the elevator. I'm still naive to the whole planet. He says, "Do you want a cup of tea?" I went, "Yeah, I'd love one." So he goes off, comes back with a cup of tea, and of course it's David without the sunglasses, his baseball cap. And he looks at me, he starts laughing. He says, "You don't wear that jacket much, do you?" I said, "No."
Oh.
And I told him, I said, "The only other time I wore it, I got married in it."
So it broke the ice.
We broke the ice. We started a rapport, and we got on really well. And he said to me, "What's the funniest thing you've ever mixed, most obscure?" And I went, "Band called Throbbing Gristle." Little did I know that he went back in the studio, saw his engineer, it was Bob Clearmount. So I got this guy in there, mentions me to Bob Clearmount, and Bob Clearmount said, "Hire him."
Wow.
So that's how I got the job with David. And the next day my phone rings, and it's Bruce Jackson, who just finished he mixed Elvis Presley, and then he did Springsteen, and he goes, "Who the fuck are you?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You just took my job." And he was the guy that couldn't show up that day.
Right.
And David and I kicked off, and I worked with David for 2 years. And about very soon after he met Leonie, was very gracious to her, but we always had a rapport. And within about, a month of the tour starting, he soon discovered Webbins and I used to find nice restaurants. So he calls me up, "So I'm coming for dinner with you two." Okay.
Yeah, right. The boss is coming.
So we take him out. The first night we went out for dinner was New Orleans. And we're walking down these back. You get David, you got girlfriend, security guard, sometimes Coco.
Yeah.
But there were normally just the 3 of us or 4 of us. We'd take another couple of girls, so it would be an equal number. And we're walking down the back streets, and no one's bothering us because he's back in his baseball cap. We come to the bill, he's got no money in his pocket. So I used to have to buy dinner, and I used to get the money reimbursed from the accountant. But we kept that up for the whole year.
Wow.
So out of all the people I work with, he's the only one I've really socialized with a lot.
Yeah.
And we got on really well. I did Tin Machine the following year with him, and we go out all the time. He is probably the nicest man I've had the pleasure of working for.
That's awesome. There's not a lot of people, or I haven't really seen a lot of videos where anyone's really talked about working with him. It's been kept pretty quiet.
I knew he was sick. A bunch of us did, and it's still the death that makes me choke. He was a really nice man, so down to earth. He always knew your name. He knew everybody on the crew. And I wrote to Coco after he died, well, when he died, the next day, and it's his assistant from the Spiders of Mars period, and gave her my condolences. And she wrote this amazing letter back saying I was one of his,
Oh, nice.
I was floored because I hadn't seen him. I saw him once when he was sick towards the end, and it was a good egg. Yeah. But when I was another quick Bowie story. We were doing Tin Machine, and he called me up and said, "I want to go for a walk." I said, "All right." So I go down to the reception. His baseball cap, sunglasses, leather jacket. We go off. We go to Christiana. So we're walking around, and this is the hippie squat area of Copenhagen, and we picked up 2 or 3 kids recognised him, but we were left alone. We come out and we head back to the Tivoli Gardens, and there's a pub next door. So we go in the pub, and David was someone who got drunk on 1 pint of beer. We have 2 pints of elephant beer. So we're hammered. So he said, "What should we do now?" So we're next to Madame Tussauds. So I was like, "Okay, let's go just here." So we go to Madame Tussauds, and we go in. He takes one look at it, says, "Here, take my camera." And we were using cameras with film. He jumps in the exhibit and puts his arm round Madame Teresa. We spent most of the afternoon there taking pictures of him with all these famous people. And we go downstairs, and there's the Chamber of Horrors downstairs, all the scary stuff. He gets in that exhibit, and he just finished doing Elephant Man on Broadway. Oh. He starts doing all these Elephant Man poses in the exhibit and doing all his mime stuff and moving around. People were coming in, he would move their head and they'd run out screaming. And we were like in hysterics. And we got the film developed and sent to his mom. She was still alive at the time. It was brilliant.
Do you have copies of the film?
No, because they went straight to his mother.
You know, this is something I regret over all the years. Many years I never took a photograph. Because really it was kind of like...
I've never taken pictures of my artist. I've got touring pictures of my friends on crew, but I don't have a single picture of...
I've got some. I started doing it after a while, and now I do it straight away. I do.
Get cracking. And also get my lunch going. Come on.
All right, then. Thank you very much,
my pleasure.
friend.
Oh, thank you.